SCP-1420, Object Class Euclid. Instances of SCP-1420 are 8 cm long egg-shaped objects composed of alternating strips of eggshell and elastic, leathery material characteristic of reptile eggs. On the narrow tip of each object is a small patch of muscle tissue. At approximately 4 a.m. every first and second Thursday of each month, the muscle will contract and all instances of SCP-1420 will open. No cracks or seams are visible before, during, or after this process. The leathery sections will stretch to accommodate the opening. SCP-1420 will close within 3 minutes during most hatching events. Upon hatching, a small creature, hereby known as SCP-1420-1, with avian and/or reptilian characteristics, will be produced by SCP-1420. Instances of -1 normally weigh less than 600 kilograms, are often malformed, and typically expire shortly after emergence from SCP-1420. Recorded creatures produced by SCP-1420 include an abnormally muscular snake with a clawed prehensile tail and 2 legs, expired approximately 4 minutes after birth. Necropsy deemed cause of death to be lack of circulation. An infant domestic chicken, completely devoid of feathers and lacking eyes or toes. Necropsy revealed that the bone structure was more similar to that of a reptile than an avian. A small multicolored bird that collapsed on the testing table shortly after birth showed no signs of life until researcher Auer entered to retrieve and terminate. Specimen exploded when approached. Researcher Auer was sprayed with a caustic liquid that quickly evaporated. He recovered and returned to duty after 1 week. A feathered and winged lizard capable of limited flight. Testing showed that it had several highly venomous retractable spines on its wings. Terminated without incident. Necropsy revealed specimen's bone structure to be hollow and lightweight. A scaled avian creature with a large growth around its neck. It produced a sound that rendered researchers present unconscious for 8 minutes. Specimen expired during period of unconsciousness. Necropsy deemed cause of death to be internal hemorrhaging in the throat. See Addendum 1420 Alpha. Testing has shown that instances of -1 are highly sensitive to levels of hydrogen above normal atmospheric amounts. When between 5 to 10% higher than normal, specimens show signs of distress. When above 10% higher than normal atmospheric levels, specimens rapidly dissolve into a fluid that evaporates within seconds of full dissolution. In reaction to this, a gas system has been installed that can administer hydrogen as needed. Lab analysis of tissue samples reveal no chemical mechanism that causes this. Approximately 12% of all hatching events will result in a new instance of SCP-1420 being produced, instead of an instance of -1. New instances of SCP-1420 are identical to all others. They will begin to produce new creatures on the aforementioned schedule. Extra instances of SCP-1420 are to be destroyed as soon as possible, except when being used for analysis or testing. Addendum 1420 Alpha. On the date of a feathered snake, slightly larger than average, was produced, hereby designated SCP-1420-2, and began to grow at a rapid pace until it became 2 meters long. Hydrogen was administered, but -2 seemed to be unaffected and survived long enough to break through the glass viewing window. It continued to increase in size and sprout additional limbs, eventually forming multiple scaled arms ending in avian beaks. It was eventually subdued and terminated after causing deaths. A necropsy revealed the creature to contain instances of SCP-1420 inside a sac in its larynx. -2 and extra instances of SCP-1420 were incinerated without incident. Glass viewing window is to be replaced or reinforced plexiglass, and instances of SCP-1420 are to be placed inside perforated steel containers. 2 armed guards are to be present for all hatching events. Additional SCP-1420 test logs. This is a test log of several creatures produced by SCP-1420. Most unstable creatures are omitted apart from the earliest specimens. The format is as follows: specimen name, description, a physical description of the specimen, observations, description of all observations regarding the specimen, behavior, demeanor, diet, vocalizations, etc. Notes, additional notes about the specimen. SCP-1420-1-1. Description: an extremely muscular snake with a clawed prehensile tail and 2 legs, 408 grams. Observations: paced rapidly around the room attempting to climb walls. Expired approximately 4 minutes after birth due to lack of vascular circulation. Notes: anomalous effect of SCP-1420 ascertained. SCP-1420-1-2. Description: an infant domestic chicken, completely devoid of feathers and lacking eyes or toes. Observations: convulsed on the testing table until it began to relax, laid still until terminated. SCP-1420-1-16. Description: 12-legged reptilian with a feathered tail, 410 grams. Observations: moved quickly around the testing room and hissed at researchers, spat a foul-smelling liquid, kept alive in a steel cage for 1 week, provided water and fed live mice, terminated without incident. Notes: first fully stable creature produced by SCP-1420. SCP-1420-1-18. Description: slender bipedal avian creature with a scaled tail and opposable thumbs, 300 grams. Observations: very timid, attempted to avoid researchers, fled rapidly from them but did not show aggressive behavior. Notes: kept alive for 1 week by being fed birdseed and kept in a terrarium, terminated without incident. Formal request has been issued to receive permission to keep a specimen alive for an extended period of time to study long-term behavior. Site Director's Note: permission granted to keep an instance of -1 alive in a terrarium as long as deemed necessary. Do not remove the specimen from the containment room. SCP-1420-1-19. Description: 4-legged, stocky, large-scale creature resembling a pangolin. Scales are serrated and very sharp. No visible eyes, large ears, large short beak for feeding, 456 grams. Observation: completely blind, and only reacts to sound and physical touch. Arches and flares its scales when threatened. Emits a quiet rumbling sound similar to purring when threatened. Kept alive for 1 month in a terrarium fed with various nuts and fruits. Terminated without incident. Notes: instances of -1 have been growing in complexity and stability over time. By what mechanism this is being achieved is unknown. SCP-1420-1-28. Description: a snake-like feathered reptilian with 18 long scales used as legs, 6 large eyes, running from its forehead to the base of its neck, 432 grams. Observations: calm demeanor, majority of time is spent asleep, specimen is difficult to browse. No venom or fangs, 8 lab mice by pinning them between its legs and swallowing them whole, kept alive for 1 month to study, terminated without incident. Notes: formal request for permission to cross-test instances of -1 until further notice has been filed as of this report. Site Director's Note: cross-testing of specimens permitted. SCP-1420-1 cross-testing specimens used. SCP-1420-1-39. Description: a round-scaled creature with 5 legs separated at equal distances on the body. Limbs end in small beaks, 350 grams. Behavior: the specimen moves by rolling around on the ground and latching onto surfaces with its mouths. Does not seem to differentiate between things larger or smaller than it. Has weak venom that causes numbness. SCP-1420-1-40. Description: a large-mouthed lizard with serrated teeth and 6 tentacle-like appendages sprouting from its back. Soft feathered body, 4 clawed legs, 400 grams. Behavior: highly aggressive. When presented feed mice, uses tentacles to grip prey and restrain them. Primary method of killing is its jaws. Result of cross-test. After both specimens were placed in a terrarium, Specimen 40 attacked Specimen 39 almost immediately. Specimen 40 devoured Specimen 39 and promptly ran over a decorative tree branch in the terrarium. Specimen 40 terminated without incident. Special Containment Procedures. 3 instances of SCP-1420 are to be contained in individual perforated steel containers when not being tested. These containers are to be placed in a standard anomalous creature containment chamber. A gas system capable of flooding the containment room with hydrogen when needed is to be kept in good repair. A reinforced plexiglass viewing window is to be installed and checked for damage weekly. At minimum, 2 armed guards are to be present during a hatching event to respond to instances of SCP-1420-2.